Hello everyone, my name is Tutor Poul. I'm from IQ Academy, and in this lesson, I just want to show you guys how to handle the following conversions. Okay, so the first one there, they're saying convert 3 seconds to milliseconds. Then the second one, they're saying convert 4 millimeters to kilometers. And then the third one, they're saying convert 1.2 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 nanograms to micrograms. Okay, so before you can make any type of conversions, you need to know what we call as the SI units. Okay, SI units. And then the other thing that you have to know what we call as the metric system. Okay, metric system. Okay, so before we do these conversions, let me quickly explain what the SI units are and what the metric system is. Okay. Okay, so if I go on these slides here, you can see there that I have a system. Okay, so that system of unit is what we call as the SI unit. Okay, some people call them the base units. So we have 7 SI units. Okay, so we have a kilogram that is used to measure mass. And then we have a meter that is used to measure length. We have seconds that are used to measure time. We have kelvins that are used to measure temperature. We have amperes that are used to measure electric current. We have the mole, which is what you're going to be dealing with the mostly in chemistry. Okay, that measures the amount of substance. Then we have the candela there that measures what we call as the luminous intensity. Okay, and then over here I have the symbols that represent these units here. Okay, so these are the 7 base units or the 7 SI units. Okay, so these are the units that are very important in chemistry or in physics or in any other science. Why? Because from these SI units, we'll be able to come up with any other units that you can think of. Okay, so all the units that come from the SI units are what we call as the derived units. Okay, so for example, you can get length. Okay, you can get the meter, and then you divide it by time. You form the units for what we call as speed. Okay, meters per second. So all the other units are derived from these 7 base units. Okay, so once you know the base units now, you also have to know what we call as the metric system. Okay, so what is the metric system? If I can go to this slide here. Okay, so the metric system is just a system of units, okay, that is based on multiples of 10 or sub-multiples of 10, okay? So the metric system contains what we call as prefixes. Okay, prefixes. So what are these, the spelling, I don't know. So what are these prefixes, okay? So a prefix is just simply a short word, okay, that is associated to a certain value, okay, to a certain value, which is a multiple or a sub-multiple of 10. Okay, so for example, if I say kilo, this one, the kilo here, is a prefix, okay? And the value that is associated to the kilo is 10 to the power 3, okay? So because on this kilo I have a 10 to the power a positive number, I'm going to say this is a multiple, okay? This is a multiple. And then if, for example, I have milli, okay? So milli, like that, milli is associated to a number that we call as 10 to the power minus 3, okay? And because this power here is a minus, we call this milli as a sub-multiple, okay? Sub-multiple. So I hope that is clear. So the scientists have come up with a table, okay, that contains different multiples and sub-multiples of these units. Okay, so when I go down here, you can see that I have this table here, and then here you can see that I've written these are sub-multiples. And then on the other end, I have what we call as the multiples. Okay, so on the sub-multiples, you notice that all the powers there will be negative. You can see it's 10 raised to power something, and that something is a negative number, okay? So when you just see 10 raised to power a negative number, just know that that is a sub-multiple, okay? And then we have different values here for 10 raised to power something, okay? So depending on the value that the 10 is raised to, it will have a name, okay? So for you guys doing your premates or NS, it's mostly ends here where you have the pico there. So you go up from here. So you guys don't deal with this, okay? So you have to know that when they say pico, they mean 10 to the power minus 12. Nano, they mean 10 to the power minus 9. Micro, they mean 10 to the power minus 6. Milli, they mean 10 to the power minus 3, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you have to know these ones here. You have to master them in your head. Okay, so when you just hear picometers, okay, so just know that you can replace that pico in the picometers with the 10 to the power minus 12. Okay, if it's millimeters, it means that milli you can replace it with what? 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, so these are sub-multiples. And then on this side, we have what we call as the multiples. So on the multiples, you notice that it's the same powers there, but on the multiples, you have positive powers. You can see all those positive powers, okay? So for you guys who are doing premates and NS, okay, you end here, going up there. So you don't concentrate on these down here, no. So you have to know that when they say tera, okay, when they say tera, it means 10 to the power 12. When they say giga, it means 10 to the power 9. When they say mega, it means 10 to the power 6. Kilo is 10 to the power 3. Hecto is 10 to the power 2. And then deca is 10 to the power 1. Okay, so you have to know these here for you to be able to convert units without any difficulties. Okay, so the kilo is 10 to the power 3, and then in this column here I have the symbols. So when you see a small letter D and A, just know they are talking about deca there. Okay, and then hecto, kilo, just like that. Okay, so remember those SI units that I told you about. Okay, those 7 SI units, where of the length, the time, the mass. Okay, so the units for those quantities that are measured by those units, okay, they can be changed or they can be converted, okay, to either one unit that is bigger, okay. So if the unit is bigger, it means we're talking about multiples, okay. If the unit is smaller, it means we're talking about sub-multiples. So if I go down on this table here that I have here, okay, you can see there I have 12, 9, 6, 3, 2, 1. And then here, okay, here they're supposed to be 10 to the power 0. So 10 to the power 0 is what? Any number raised to the power 0 is 1, right? Okay, and then you continue down. So here where there's 1, that's where you place your SI units. Okay, so here you can place your grams, you can place your meters, you can place your seconds. Okay, so you can convert, if you are dealing with grams, it means you can convert this gram to all these sub-multiples that I have down here. Okay, I can convert that gram to all these multiples that I have down, and then I can also convert this gram to all these multiples that I have on top. Okay, so if the power is positive, we said it's multiples. The power is negative, we said it's what? Sub-multiples. So I can convert this gram to sub-multiples. I can also convert that gram to what? The multiples. Okay, it's same for the meter. I can convert it to sub-multiples. I can also convert it to the multiples on top. The second, I can also convert it to the sub-multiples. I can also convert it to the what? To the multiples on top. Okay, so how can you convert from your grams or your meter or your second to one of these multiples? Okay. Okay, so let me go to the blank board here, and then I'm going to give you 3 situations that come. Okay, so the first one is when you are converting. Okay, when you are converting from, okay, when you are converting from either the multiples, I'll just write M for the multiples to save space there. Okay, so when you're converting from multiples or you're converting from sub-multiples, and then you're taking these to the SI unit. Okay, what is the rule? The rule is that you just have to multiply by the prefix. Okay, multiply by the prefix. Okay, multiply by the prefix. Okay, so for example, in this first situation, we can have, for example, if I have 6 kgs, okay, this 6 kg, if I want to convert it to the kg, okay, so we can see that this is a multiple here because it has a kilo here in front. Okay, so if I want to convert from this 6 kg to the kg, and from this kgs to the grams here, okay, what am I supposed to do? The rule is multiply by the prefix. So what is the prefix in this conversion? The prefix is this kilo here. So you have to know those prefixes that I gave. Okay, so you have to know that the kilo means 10 to the power what? 3. Okay, so the kilo means 10 to the power 3. So it means for me to convert from this 6 kgs to the grams, I just have to say 6 multiplied by, and then where was the k there? I'm going to replace it with the value there. It on the metric table. Okay, so this would be 10 to the power 3, and then grams. Okay, so you can see that this guy here has just gotten the position of what? Of the k. So you just have to know what the prefixes mean. Okay, so let me give another example based on this same concept. So for example, if you are converting, okay, let me say 5 millimeters, okay, I want to convert them to meters. Okay, so you can see that the millimeters there is a sub-multiple because the milli is below the meter. Okay, so let me show you, where is that? Okay, so we said the meter is there, right? And then below this meter, that's where I can find my milli. So you can see this is the milli, right? Okay, it is represented by a small letter m there. And it means 10 to the power what? Minus 3. Okay, so meaning that what? Meaning that I'm converting from a sub-multiple to the SI unit there for length. So what am I going to do? The rule is that multiply by the value of the what? The prefix. So the prefix is milli. And we know that milli is just what? 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, so what are you going to do? You're going to say 5 multiplied by this prefix. We are going to replace it with its value. Okay, so we are going to say multiplied by 10 to the power minus 3. And then this meter here remains. So this would be the value in what? Meters. Okay, what if I say I have, let's say 3 milli, no, let me not use milli, let me use nano. Okay, so what if I have 3 nanometers? Nanometers, and then I want to convert it to meters. Okay, so we see that the nano there is a sub-multiple because it is a 10 to the raised power a negative number. Okay, so when you come to your metric table here, you see that the nano here is represented by a small letter n, and its value is what? 10 to the power minus 9. Okay, so it means wherever I can see a nano there, at the n here, I'll just replace with 10 to the power what? Minus 9 to convert to the meters. Okay, so nano means 10 to the power minus 9. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to say 3 multiplied by, where was the nano here? I'm going to put 10 to the power minus what? 9. So I'm just going to say 10 to the power minus 9, and then this meter here remains. So this will be meters. Okay, so this is the first situation where you're converting from either the multiples, okay, to the SI units, or from the sub-multiples to the SI units. That's the situation number 1 that we can get. Okay, so let's move on to the second one. Okay, so the second one now, 2, is when you're converting. Okay, when you're converting from the SI units now. Okay, from the SI units, meaning you're converting from something like seconds, grams, or meter. Okay, so you're converting from the SI units to the sub-multiples, or the multiples, multiples. Okay, so you're converting from the SI units to sub-multiples or the multiples. So what's the rule there? Okay, so when you're converting from the SI units there to sub-multiples or multiples, the rule is to divide by the prefix. Okay, divide by the prefix. Prefix there. Okay, so this is the rule here. Okay, so I'll give examples. So remember, I'm coming from the SI units. So maybe I say convert 9 seconds, okay, to milliseconds. Okay, so we can see that the second there is the SI unit. And this millisecond is the what? Is a sub-multiple, because the milli there, it is a 10 to the power minus a negative number. Okay, so we know that milli, according to the metric system, is just what? 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, so the rule is they're saying divide by the prefix. Okay, so this is the prefix here. So it means when converting this 9 seconds to the milliseconds, I'm just going to divide by this prefix. Okay, so we are going to say 9 divided by, the prefix is 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, and then this will be the same as 9 over 1. Then I multiply by 1 over 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, so now here you have to know one of the rules for the exponentials or the indices. Okay, so one of the rules for the exponentials that if I have n raised to a power minus number like that, okay, I can write this number here in this form, 1 over the same x, but now raised to a positive number there. Okay, so you have to know this rule here. So this rule also can be extended to such a situation. So if I have 1 over, okay, if I have 1 over x to the power minus negative number, okay, it means this is the same as just ax to the power n, which is the positive number there. Okay, so how do we end up with this? So we use this property here. So remember here I have 1 divided by this, so 1 divided by, okay, but we know that this guy here, we can write it as 1 over x to the power n, right? So I'll write 1 over x to the power n. Then this will be equals to 1. This division sign changes to multiplication. This guy moves on top, and then the 1 comes down. So it means I have x to the power n, and then I have 1 there. So this will be equals to what? X to the power n. Okay, so you can see how this guy here has ended up being this, right? Coming from this rule. Okay, so whenever we have 1 divided by a number raised to a negative power, okay, so we are going to write this in terms of positive powers, and then we are just going to say it's like that. Okay, so this is the rule that we are going to use. So meaning here, I just have, okay, 9 multiplied by, and then this one here is the same as 10 to the power positive number like that. Okay, so it means I've converted from my seconds to my milliseconds. Okay, so I can write milliseconds there. Okay, so we are converting from the SI unit, which is second, to this sub-multiple here. But let's try for a multiple. We see what is going to happen. Okay, so for a multiple, I'm going to choose 7 grams. Okay, let's convert this 7 grams to, okay, 7 grams, let's convert it to kgs. Okay, so because I'm converting from the SI unit here to a multiple, Okay, this is a multiple because this kilo is 10 to the power what? 10 to the power 3. Okay, so because the power there is positive, okay, we are going to say this is a multiple. Okay, so what is the rule when you're converting from the SI units to a multiple or a submultiple? We said we divide by the value of the prefix. Okay, so the prefix that we have here is the kilo, which means 10 to the power 3. So it means I'm just going to divide this 7 by this guy here. So I'll say 7. Okay, let me write it properly. I'll say 7 divided by 10, okay, to the power 3. Okay, then you can punch this on your calculator if you want, but I'll teach you a trick here. You just say this is 7, okay, multiplied by 1 over 10 to the power 3. Okay, so remember our rule. We said when we had something like x to the power minus n, okay, it's the same as 1 over x to the power positive n. So we see that this is a situation that we have here. Okay, so it means this guy here, I can just write it as 10 to the power what? Minus 3. So I'm going to say this is 7 multiplied by, this will just be 10 to the power minus 3. And then this will be kilograms. Okay, so that is the second one. Okay, so the first rule we are saying we are converting from submultiples or the multiples to the SI units. And then the second one, we said we are converting from, where is it? We are converting from the SI units, okay, to the submultiples or the multiples. And then the third one now is where you are converting from a multiple to a multiple, or a submultiple to a submultiple, or a submultiple to a multiple, or a multiple to a submultiple. Okay, so you can either make the following conversions. Okay, so I'll say a multiple. Let me use capital M here. Some people may think this is a meter. So a multiple, I'm converting it to another multiple. Okay, or I can say I'm converting a submultiple to another submultiple. Okay, or I can say I'm converting from a submultiple to a multiple, or the fourth one, I'm converting from a multiple to a submultiple. Okay, so these are the 4 situations that we have under the third category there. Okay, so under this multiple to a multiple, it means I can convert from kgs, okay, to maybe meter. Okay, so let me use meters there. I can convert from kilometers. Okay, I can convert from kilometers to gigameters. We see that giga and the kilo, they are both multiples. So it's from multiple to multiple. And then from submultiple to submultiple, I can convert from nanograms, okay, to milligrams. And then from submultiple to multiple, I can say maybe I have micrograms. Okay, so this is a symbol for micrograms. Then I'm converting it to kilograms. Okay, and then under this multiple to submultiple, it means I can have, let's say, kiloseconds. Okay, I'm converting these kiloseconds to nanoseconds. Okay, so these are the 4 categories that we can have under the third category. Okay, so what is the rule when you are converting units under this third category? Okay, so the rule is that you first convert whatever you have here in the first place, you convert it to the SI units. Okay, so I'm going to say convert to SI unit. Okay, so the SI units can be seconds, they can be meters, or they can be grams, or they can be kelvins, all those 7 that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so the first step is first to convert to the SI units. Okay, and then the second step is to convert to the desired unit now. Convert to the desired unit. Okay, desired unit. Okay, so this is the rule here. So what does it mean? So if, for example, I am on this first one here, and I want to convert from kilometers to gigameters, what am I going to do? I'm first going to convert this kilometer to my meters, okay? And then I'm the second part is now converting those meters to the gigameters. You get? Yeah. So that's what it means. Okay. So if you want to convert directly from kilometers to gigameters, you can make mistakes. So I discourage students from using that method. I want them to use this one here. First, you convert to the SI unit, and then you convert from that SI unit to the desired unit. Okay. So I'll have an example here. Let's say we have, what can we say here? Okay, let's say we have, okay, let me get an example from those questions. Okay, so this is a good example of the third category, even the second one there. Okay, so let's get this guy here, the number 2. So we are saying convert from 4 millimeters to kilometers. Okay, so what are we going to do? So let's do that. So we are saying from 4 millimeters, we are converting what to kilometers. Okay, so we see that this milli is a sub-multiple and it has a value of 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, and then this kilo is a multiple because it is a 10 to the power what? 3. Okay, so how can we convert from millimeters to kilometers? Why have I written kg there? Okay, so that should be the kilometer. So how can I convert from millimeter to the kilometer? Okay, so the first thing to do is to convert to my SI unit. So in this case, what is my SI unit? I can say meter. So I'm going to say I'm first converting this 4 millimeters to meters. Okay, and what did we say is the rule when you are converting from a sub-multiple to an SI unit? Okay, we said we just have to multiply by the prefix. Okay, so we're going to multiply. So we're going to say 4 multiplied by, and then here we are at the midi, just going to put its prefix here. So I'm going to say 10 to the power 3 meters. Okay, so I've converted from my millimeters here, I've converted to my what? To my meters. Okay, and then the next step now is to convert these meters to the desired unit that I want, which is the kilometer. Okay, so how am I going to convert these meters to the kilometer? Okay, so remember the rule. If I'm converting from the SI unit to a sub multiple or a multiple, what am I supposed to do? What I'm supposed to divide by the prefix. Okay, so the prefix that I'm dividing it with is this prefix for the unit I'm converting to. Okay, so we know that kilo is just a 10 to the power what? 3. So kilo is just a 10 to the power 3. So I'm dividing what I have in SI units by my prefix there. Okay, so I'm going to say this will be 10, 4 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 3. Then I'm dividing all this by 10 to the power 3. So this will be equals to, okay, so you have 4 multiplied by, I can isolate this 4. So this 4, I'll just leave it 4 over 1. And then here I have 10 to the power 3 divided by 10 to the power 3. Okay, and this will be my kilometers. Okay, so I can simplify this expression. So according to the laws of indices, if I have same bases there and then I'm dividing, it means I just have to subtract the powers. So this will be 4 multiplied by 10, and then I have minus 3, which is this one, and then minus this 3 that is down there. Okay. So this will be kilometers. So it means my answer will just be 4 multiplied by 10. 10 multiplied by 10. What is minus 3 minus 3? So this will be minus 6 kilometers. Okay, so this is the final answer there. So you can see that we are at 4 millimeters. Okay, converted these 4 millimeters first of all to the meters. It was 4 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 3 meters. And then from the meters, we've converted to the what? To the kilometers. Okay, so if you just follow the rules, it will be very simple. Okay, so let's look at the other question among those questions. Okay, so we've solved the number 2. Let's solve the number 3. We'll come back to the number 1 later. So here they're saying convert 1.2 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 nanograms to micrograms. Okay, so when I come to my board here, we are converting 1.2 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 nanograms. We're converting it to what? Was that micro or milli? Or milligrams, okay? So we're converting that to milligrams. Okay, so you can see that this one falls under the third category where we're converting from a submultiple to a submultiple. Okay, so we know that the nano is a submultiple because it's a 10 to the power minus number. Even the milli is a submultiple because it's a 10 to the raised to a negative number. Okay, so if you forget the values, always consult your metric table here. So we see that the milli there is just 10 to the power minus 3. And then the nano is 10 to the power minus 9. Okay, so we are going to use those in our conversions. So we said if you are from a submultiple to a submultiple, what do you have to do first? Okay, you first have to convert it to the meter. Okay, so I'll convert these nanograms first of all to did I say the meter? To the SI unit. Okay, so in this case, the SI unit is the grams. And then I'm going now to convert those grams to the what? To the milligrams. Okay, so this is how I'll move. So let's convert these nanograms to the grams. Okay, so if I'm converting from nanograms to the grams, it means I'm falling under the first category where we said you have either here a submultiple or a multiple, and then you're converting to the SI unit. Okay, so the gram is the SI unit there. So what are we going to do? Okay, we said in this case, we just multiply with the prefix for the submultiple. So nano means 10 to the power minus 9. Then the micro, I mean the milli here, not the micro, means 10 to the power minus 3. So to convert these nanograms here to grams, okay, I'm just going to replace this n with its value. So I'm going to say that is 1.2 multiplied by 10 to the power 4. Okay, and then here where I had the nano, I'm going to say multiplied by. So the nano means 10 to the power minus 9. So I'm going to put 10 to the power minus 9, and then this grams remains. So grams. Okay, so you can see here we've converted from these nanograms to the grams. So we can simplify this. We see that 10 and 10 are the same bases, but they have different powers there. So what can we do if we're multiplying same bases? We just add their powers. So what is 4 plus minus 9? Okay, so this will be 1.2 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 5 grams. Okay, so this value here in grams, in nanograms, is the same as this value here in grams. Okay, and then after converting to the grams, I now want to convert it to my desired unit, which is the nanogram. Okay, so we're moving from the gram to what's nano? That is my milligram. Okay, to the milligram there. So what did we say is the rule when you are converting from the SI unit, okay, which is the gram in this case, to the submultiple or the multiple? We said we have to divide by the prefix. Okay, so divide by the prefix. So what is the prefix here? It's just this milli, and you know that milli is 10 to the power minus 3. So we are going to divide this expression here by this 10 to the power minus 3. So we are going to say 1.2 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 5, and then I'm going to divide this by 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, so this you can write it as 1.2 over 1, and then these ones you divide them. Okay, so it will be multiplied by 10 to the power minus 5 divided by 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, and then this will be 1.2 multiplied by, we see here that we have the same bases here and we are dividing them. So meaning we just have to subtract their powers. So this will be 10 Then the minus 5 that I have minus this minus 3 that I have down there. Okay, so this will be equals to 1.2 multiplied by 10 to the power. When you multiply that, it will be minus 5 plus 3. So what is minus 5 plus 3? It's just minus 2. Okay, and these will be in your desired unit, which is milligram. Okay, so you can see we've converted from the nanogram that we had, we've converted it to the gram. And then finally, we've converted this gram to the milligram there. Okay, so that's how you solve that one. And then let's solve the last one. Okay, so the last one is simple, which is the first one here. So we are converting 3 seconds to milliseconds. So what are we going to do? Okay, so 3 seconds, we are converting them to what? Milliseconds. Okay, so what are we going to do here? We notice that this one here is the SI unit. Okay, so we are converting from the SI unit to a sub-multiple there, because the milli is just a 10 to the power minus 3. So what is the rule when you're converting from the SI unit to the sub-multiple or the multiple? Here we said the rule is to divide. So we are going to divide with this prefix here. So it will just be 3 divided by 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, then this I can also write it as 3 multiplied by 1 over 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, and then we know that this, okay, according to the rule, which is this rule here, I have 1 over x to the power minus 1, okay, it's the same as x to the power n. So this guy here, I'm going to write it as 10 to the power 3. So this will be 3 multiplied by 10, okay, to the power 3 milliseconds. Okay, so we identify that this is just a 1000. 10 to the power 3 is 1000. So 1000 multiplied by 3 to just be 3000, like that, milliseconds. Okay, so this is the answer there. And we are done with those examples that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so this has been Tutor Poul from IQ Academy. You are free to register with us in case you want extra lessons. Okay, so that is it for this video. God bless you and bye-bye.